Alright, so if you have a 2006 to 2009 HHR, kind of a cool looking vehicle, some people keep referring them to a PT Cruiser. They are not a PT Cruiser. It is a Chevy product, it's got an EcoBoost engine in it. Great car, easy on gas, a little heavy I find, but really easy on gas, and tons of room in these cars. If you have an airbag light on your dash, and a lot of people have, this is a commonality in these cars, the passenger seat has a recall on it. And here in Canada, and Ontario specifically, you cannot safety this vehicle with an airbag service on it. It is just one of those things, you cannot bypass it. I'm sure there's someone out there working somewhat hard to figure out how to cross two wires just to try to turn this off. There is a cheaper method to this. If you go to a dealer, that part alone, just the module, is $975. Now they're going to charge you whatever price that they're going to charge you for undoing two 18 mil bolts and unplugging a couple of freaking plugs. Absolutely ridiculous, absolutely retarded. I do not understand what the hell dealers are doing anymore. But here is the easy, cheap fix. Depending on the color of your interior, the majority of them are a light gray and it's a clothy interior. It's not very pleasant. Again, GM didn't spend a lot of time on their interiors on low budget cars. There's an alternative. Now, I'm going to show you what the module looks like because of the simple fact that there is a couple issues going on with these seats. The first module is a T001 module. This is this nice little tiny module. It is an airbag module. There is another module way in underneath. This is a little sensor. And if you pull back this nice little plastic grommet here, which I can only do with one hand, there's a tube and it is liquid filled. Now there's a bladder underneath the seat, so when you sit on it, anything over 50 pounds basically, when you sit on this seat, it trips this, sends the signal to this, and this goes over to the ECU. This turns off the nice little service airbag thing. Now, if nobody's sitting on the seat, this is functioning, you have no service airbag light. So don't confuse those two things together. As long as this is working, there is no service airbag light. So what ends up by happening is two things. The bladder gets dirty, and what happens is the pressure doesn't regulate over to this little sensor, and it doesn't go over to this module, which doesn't send the signal over to the ECU. So, or this module becomes defective. Call your local scrapyard. There's probably 2 or 3 of them in that scrapyard. This is a recalled item. What they do is, if you look up the service bulletin on your HHR, there might be a recall if you haven't already replaced it. If you haven't replaced it, just simply take it over to your local GM. Your GM dealer will replace this part. It is recalled. If it's already been recalled and it dysfunctions again, it really sucks. If this dysfunctions again, then it's a $900 and some odd part. I strongly suggest call your local scrapyard. Buy a seat. They're going to cost you anywhere from $55 to $75. This is the original seat out of an HHR. That part was a recall. It's already been changed, and unfortunately it's failed again. So it's sent a nice little air service airbag signal. You can change that part. If you want to spend that kind of money, go right ahead. I personally say don't do it. Go to a scrapyard. Buy a seat. Take a battery pack. Some scrapyards leave the batteries in them. Other scrapyards don't leave the batteries in these cars. Now, turn the key. Look to see. It'll come up instantly on the dash as airbag needs to be serviced. If the airbag doesn't need to be serviced, you're always going to look. There's an off and an on light on there, and it's in the center console. It will show a seatbelt. It will show a person sitting on the seat, and there'll be a line across. So that means it's not on, or there's not somebody sitting in the seat. When you sit in the seat, the light comes on, and it'll be a person without the line. It'll just be a person in the airbag, and that means it's functioning. That bladder is working. Now, if the airbag service light is off, fantastic. You can take that car in for safety all day long, especially in Ontario. You can take that in. It is very inexpensive. Change the seat. Why spend the $975 for a module or a sensor that doesn't need to be replaced? Again, I'm going to say it just again. If people would spend a little bit more time, you can get a seat for almost nothing. And some scrapyards will give you the seat. I've had occasions where I've gotten free interior parts because it doesn't affect the weight of the vehicle, and plus it's a part that they can't do anything with. So, there's your tip of the day. If you have that problem, especially in an HHR, go buy a seat. Chances are, it's gonna take your air service airbag light. On the driver's side, it is not connected to the passenger side. That is a misunderstood concept. It's just not there. Passenger side is independent to the driver's side. So, majority of the time, I will say 95% of the time, it is always on the passenger side. Tip of the day, have fun, stay tuned. We will be posting more videos. If you found it instructional, give me a thumbs up. And also, please, I have sponsors. You know, those little ads that pop up. Like them, watch them, do whatever. Just take a gander at them. What's 30 seconds out of your day? Have fun, enjoy the day. More to come.